So, Karim, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you for having me again.
We are on the third day today of DGC, and so we've seen you in one of the biggest projects in location-based entertainment that is going to take place in Abu Dhabi. We've seen you launch the great Transformer VR with Hasbro, and really, I mean, the trailer you showed, the teaser you showed about it, got everybody drooling.
Thank you.
And now we are welcoming you back for esports. So
yes, it is.
Robocom VR and GameX, which is an esports organization.
Correct.
And we have with us the CEO of GameX from Lebanon, Mr. Hassan Ghandour. Welcome.
Good to be here. Thank you.
So, esports now.
Yes.
What is it? VR esports? VR location-based esports? What?
No, well, the thing is, as you saw on the interview with Mu'taz and Al-Qana, we're venturing into esports, opening the first esports academy in the region. With that being said, I think it's only right that we get into the esports industry. And our business in the VR industry in itself is only going to lead for it to be a competitive sport, just like esports is. Of course, Hassan will get into the more technical details of the industry or the statistics and whatnot, but as the overall vision entails, I really see VR merging with the existing platform that esports or the landscape that esports provides. And it is only in due time that these VR gamers will, when it's commercialized and it has much more users than it does now, it will only need to turn into this competitive industry that revolves around the teams and the tournaments and the whole organization that Hassan will get into later. But yeah, it's an exciting new venture for Robocom, and we're glad to have a home-based country. You know, I'm originally from Beirut, Lebanon as well, so it's nice to see like-minded individuals from your home country that are doing something similar.
Hassan, tell us more about your esports organization, and then you can also speak to us how you decided to join.
How you met Robocom.
with Karim and Robocom. But I'm also from Lebanon, so I'm really interested to know more about your esports organization in Lebanon.
So basically, we started around a year and a half ago. I'm a gamer. I've been always passionate about gaming. I've been monitoring esports in general around the world. I see it growing on a daily basis for the past couple of years. And I teamed up with my partners here in Lebanon. We told them about the idea. They were very interested to join. And basically, we started it. We saw the lack of esports organization in our country and in the region in general. We have a big gaming community in our region, whether it was MENA or GCC, but we don't have anyone to cater to that talents. So we decided to venture into that business and take it to the next level. And then here we go. We're sitting here now.
And I'm not very familiar with the esports scene in Lebanon. And I don't believe there is so many teams also that are from Lebanon. So I would be really happy if you can, explain to us more what's the esports scene in Lebanon. How do you see yourself branching out not only to the region but globally? And of course now with this partnership, maybe you will also have make benefit from Karim's connections and his presence in the gaming industry in general. Give us an idea, Hassan.
So as I said, the gaming community is vast, but the esports scene is relatively weak because you need someone to organize it. You need someone to take those teams and to provide proper mentoring and provide the proper setups and everything, the environment for them. So what basically here we have just individual players organizing their own personal teams and trying to compete, but that would never reach to high levels. So what we want to do is to be mentoring those teams, mentoring those players, the individuals, taking care of them, their practice, everything to providing the proper setup. We want to cater to their needs so they can reach the global stage. And that's basically what we want to do. On another note, like we have so much potential, but again, nothing's organized. Like no one provided anything to these guys, to these athletes. I consider them to these players, and to me, there we have a lot of potential. Like I see them, I see these players on different levels, on different games, reaching the highest tournaments, the biggest tournaments worldwide.
So Karim, I mean, like Hassan is saying, so you would like to enter esports. We know that there are the other projects, and it might make sense strategically.
Correct.
But you, as Hassan is saying, it's why did you decide to really invest your time and resources into an esports team?
Well, it goes back to the fundamental issue that we were talking about earlier about the ecosystem in general. You know, when you want to support the ecosystem, when you want to advance the ecosystem, you can't just advance it from one avenue. You have to penetrate every single leakage you see. And as Hassan was mentioning, we don't really have that support structure for esports organizations and teams. And this was what I wanted to give to the industry in general. So being part of the game industry, of course specific to VR, but you are still part of the industry. And being part of the industry, we wanted to be able to give back to esports organizations because other than the money, you know, the talent is there. There's a lot of talented individuals that have the potential to go places. And having a project like Al-Qana and working with brands like Hasbro and Discovery Channel and just being able to have such a reach and being Middle Eastern actually gives us this platform to provide for these individuals. And this is what we wanted to give back to the community. After all, we're very community oriented, and we wanted to give back to the community in terms of just having this game house, this organization, everything to provide them to be able to reach the peak of their potential.
And I also know from Robocom that all of your team are from the Middle East.
Oh,
and
correct.
You never actually used anyone that is from outside of the Middle East.
Correct.
It was always 100% homegrown team, and although you are working on international
Not that we're biased,
titles,
you know, but it's just
no, but actually it's interested. It just links back to your belief in the local talents and growing them. I guess this is the only way anyway to really grow this. Hassan, in terms of esports, you know, we had a lot of sessions on esports. Esports was a real focus this year in DGC Live. How do you see? What are your challenges? I mean, on not having a real ecosystem, not having things in place. I mean, it must really make it much harder for you. And how would you like to see this changing?
It is very challenging, to be honest, on all levels. On all levels, like let's just start from simply the mindset of the players, because they lack the experience to be part of a big organization. They need a lot of motivation, and in general, as I said, the community is big, but it lacks a lot of things, to be honest. But with time, everything will work out, and esports is growing. It's gonna skyrocket. It's already skyrocketing day by day, month by month, year by year. And we want to take our region and skyrocket it on an international level. Challenges like are definitely there, but like you can easily overcome it. You know what I mean? The lack of basically everything. Like let's say in Lebanon, in our case here, just from the setup perspective, like from the internet, that was a challenge. We got the best one in Lebanon as a provider, the best ISP provider, IDM as a major sponsor for us. So we had to tackle all these subjects before we actually start competing on any level. So, but hopefully everything will be overcome. And the fact that we joined with the Robocom, that helps a lot. And that would take the esports organization to another level with a much shorter time than it should have taken us by now.
So if we were to go a little bit specifically, As
Yeah.
as an owner of this esports organization and also a founder, what are the missing steps that you need to see in order to progress? What is really missing? Because you know, a lot of I've been hearing this over the past 3 days, and I would really appreciate if we would go more into some specifics. Like, okay, I have a team, but my team members or my players need this and this and this, and we're not able to provide them. We need to go into global championship, but we're not able to do this. In order to compete, we need to qualify, and we need to. You see what I mean?
I can answer the first question, and Hassan can do the rest.
Yeah.
First time me and Hassan agreed to open the company.
Oh.
He said, I need a $25,000 computer for each player. I said, what? That's more than a car. And this was, I think, the first challenge of getting into the esports industry. Very expensive hardware, nonetheless. Of course, this is not a restriction, or this is not a complication, but it's one of the things, I think, and the tools you need to be able to compete on the level. And Hassan can tell you the rest of the things.
Well, we can take it step by step. Like, for example, these challenges honestly are very difficult, but as I said earlier, easily overcome. To me, I believe you need the best possible setup. You need the best possible hardware when it comes to specs and PCs. You need the best possible internet due to lag connections and everything. Just a simple fact, my boys have competed in so many tournaments, and because of internet issues, they just lose connection to the host. And due to the fact that we lost connection to the host, we lost the tournament or qualifying. So just from an internet aspect, you need like very stable internet. You need the best PC hardware setup for your players to be able, for your players, so that your players can perform in the best way possible. And your players have to have the discipline. You need to provide to them. You need to cater to them. Like, these athletes are young. This industry, in a way, it's new. It's changing on daily basis. You need to cater to their daily needs. You need to consider them as your own children. Like, if you have a family, you need to look out of their food, if they're working out. Because like in our esports organization, we put strict programs because definitely they need to work out, because health to me is very important before actually competing. Because we see so many players. I've been reading and researching a lot recently. So many players at the age of 21, 19, 20, they're retiring. And these are pro athletes. They're retiring due to health issues because organizations are not taking care of them from a health aspect. This player, he's 21. Why do I want to put all my time and energy in a young player where I'm going to use him for 2 years as an athlete and then just he retires? That's not our mindset. And it's all about, after the player retires, you can offer him a job as a content provider, as a content creator, because each player has his fan base, his community. There's many, many aspects to work on. And honestly, it's very challenging. And if you want to dissect esports itself, an esports organization is actually a couple of businesses in one big business. You know what I mean? You have the content creation side, you have the tournament side, you have the athlete side, you have fashion apparel side. So it's a whole bunch of things connected to each other, and they all have to work systematically for us to reach our goal, our vision, and for us to be one of the biggest esports organizations in the world.
And if you put a plan, for example, now, and let's say you are, I wanted to ask a question, by the way. Yeah. Let's say I'm a team in Lebanon and my internet is not working so well. Do I fly my team to Dubai and compete from Dubai where the internet is better and still I win, or is this?
You have to ask Hassan. I only know about the
I also don't know, but I mean, yeah, I know. But for example, Hassan, if it's such a big and important, I'm just trying to see how that maybe I can be more flexible or something. It's like, going to a meeting, and just taking the plane and then, or am I simplifying it too much?
Having good internet doesn't mean you're gonna win. It's just part of the puzzle that you need to have in order for you to compete at the best performance possible. You know what I mean? But having the best hardware, the best internet doesn't mean you're gonna win. It's all a big setup. You put the pieces of the puzzle together, and the basic thing what I believe, other than having a very talented roster in any game, you need synergy between the team members. That's the most important thing. If the team members do not have synergy together in game and in real life, I believe personally we will never reach anywhere. They have to be a family. That's the entire reason why we emphasize on the gaming house. These players will live together, will eat together, they will go out together, they will fight together, then they will make amends together. You know what I mean? That's why you have a team captain. The team captain usually is the one who directs the team, creates that synergy. Team captain is different than in-game leader. So he's the one that takes care of them basically on a psychological level as well. So the team captain goes through a specific kind of what do you say? Specific kind of evaluation in order for us to choose him as the team captain.
So Karim, I'm sure that now you will be learning more about esports and getting closer. Do you also see in the future a mix between esports and VR? We had, during the past days, a few sessions with HTC, and they showed us some incredible things happening between VR, esports and VR. And Hassan, I wanted to ask you, by the way, also, and Karim, the team is always more specialized in a game.
Yeah.
So is it CSGO, is it Dota, is it another game? So in your case, in Game X, Karim, Hassan, is it more? Can you tell us which game your team is playing more?
So the first roster we adapted will be in PUBG, Player Unknown Battlegrounds.
PUBG.
And then yes, PUBG. And in the near future, because I'm a PUBG player. I love PUBG. I've monitored the game since its launch in 2017. I saw how greatly it grew worldwide. Like that game is insane. It's insane. And there's many other big games that are out there. That's why very soon we're gonna adapt another game, and hopefully within 2 years we're gonna have around 7, 8 different rosters in different games. And in this case, we can have, for example, 2 PUBG teams. Like there's no restriction, you know what I mean? But definitely we want to adapt it to other games. Like right now there's Valorant came out. Valorant is big. It's pretty big. A lot of esports organizations are adapting new rosters to Valorant. People are shifting from CS:GO. Pro players are shifting from CS:GO towards Valorant. So perhaps that would be one of the games we're gonna adapt, but that's to be decided in the near future.
All right. So, Karim, so basically now...
To answer your question about the
exactly.
esports. Well, esports, Habib, in general is a definition, whereas the games, for example, PUBG, it's a game. Dota 2, it's a game that come from these publishers. Whereas the platforms they're using are PC, PlayStation, Xbox, let it be. Esports, as a definition, is a sport, and VR is another platform, just like PC is a platform. But the usage of the PC for these publishers and these games are much higher than VR. So in the near future, the only way it can go is to shift into a new platform, just like new platforms are coming out. It's only the other day Apple released Apple Glasses. Everyone was used to Apple Watch, and now there's Apple Glasses, and augmented reality is taking over. And I think these things are going to become very popular because they're very efficient. So when the evolution of the hardware and the software comes to a point where it's very accessible with VR, you can just have sunglasses and they become VR right away. This is when it shifts in the gaming landscape, in my opinion, in the esports landscape. And we want to be ready. We want to understand the business via a GameX organization. And once we understand the organization, we can integrate VR to become the new platform. And as I've talked about many times before, Ready Player One is the inspiration we have, and this is where we wish to go. And we think GameX would be a fantastic addition to this vision.
Well, I wish you all the best, and I know that this partnership is still fresh, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And Hassan, we hope to host you the next DGC, and you would have.
Looking forward to
progress-
it.
Excuse me.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, and you will be winning with your team, and we can host the whole team, and it.
We gotta give you a
wish
demo
all the
session
best.
at the DGC event in
Yeah,
September.
for sure. And so Karim, I mean, this is a new venture for you, and wish you all the best. You're doing a lot of things for the ecosystem, and now esports, VR, location-based entertainment, so many other things as well.
Event management.
So and event management. So congratulations, and we wish you all the best.
Thank
and
you, thank
we
you.
really love these stories that come from the region. This is all about DGC.
And just to add to that, I think the ecosystem will be built despite, it's only a matter of time. And it's people like Hassan and myself and yourself and Mu'taz and all these people that we've met that have this passion to drive this industry. The thing that led me to invest in Hassan's company, now a subsidiary of Robocom, is his passion. He was extremely passionate about the industry in itself, and this passion is contagion. Whenever you meet someone that's this passionate about something, you can not help yourself but to listen. And he got me listening, and when I listened enough, I said that this is it. It's time for the region to take this next step in the esports landscape, and we wanted to be the ones to really push the ecosystem in that sense.
Perfect.
If I may add one more thing, it's actually because you said, how did we start together? How did we venture? Like, the reason why we actually ventured is when we first met Kareem through his brother Basil, actually. We wanted, as GameX from Kareem, as from Robocom, actually, a sponsorship. And then we started talking for a couple of minutes. And then Kareem told me, listen, Hassan, wait, put sponsorship aside, talk to me about partnering up. And that's how everything started from there, which is actually an amazing story. And I want to add one more thing. In our region, especially in Lebanon right now, we have a very severe financial crisis. The country is very unstable. And on top of that, with all that's happening in our country here in Lebanon, we decided to venture into it and to invest in esports and build an organization with Kareem and with Robocom, despite everything that's happening, which is amazing by itself. We want to show that despite whatever is happening, we can still do it. We can still create more opportunities, create more opportunities for as well from the players' aspects, because these players are young. They're 18, they're 19, like financial situation, financial crisis, they're not going to find a job. If you are passionate about esports, if you are passionate about gaming, we want to show you that there's a way for you to be a pro player, to make money. If you're passionate about content creating, you have it. So we want to lead the way in our region, in our country, in our region from that aspect as well.
Of course, I mean, that's all about entrepreneurship. It's challenges, obstacles,
100%.
and always with the little resources we have, we still reach our objectives. So that's the whole spirit
Life
of
gives you
entrepreneurship.
lemonade. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade.
Exactly. So on that lemonade note, we have to end our conversation because we are back to back and we are welcoming another session just now. Thank you, Kareem, again.
Thank you, Habib, for having
thank
me.
you, Hassan. And
Thank you,
good
Habib.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.